We'll be back from the break. It's 24 minutes to the top of the hour. You're still watching Smartman's Business. I'm Andrew Babriji with my guest this morning. That's Dr. Alvin. He's a policy analyst that is at need. But of course, before we proceed with the discussion, don't forget to trade with Zabu. Zabu is a platform from Altex which just made your trading experience much more easy and friendly. You can dial *292# and you'll be availed with options where you can buy government bonds and securities for as little as 15,000 Ugandan shillings, but of course you can still choose to invest more. But Zabo simply says, well, first come with 50,000 and I believe life will be made much more easy. Now the markets open at 8:15 a.m. closing at 3:15 p.m. East African time, effective Monday up to Friday, except on the weekends and the public holidays when you can access these markets. But well, at least you have the rest of the 5 days for you to capitalize and make yourself quite some good money, and I believe life will never be the same again. Zabo maybe it's a reality, and it's possible. Zabu simply says, my money, my future, and Altex East Africa says, do something new. Well, now heading back to our topic of discussion, of course, like I said before we get into the break, I told you that when we return, we shall be looking at the aspect of the budget, of course, it being a budget month, and trade and cooperatives are one of those key areas that, the country really ought to focus on as one of the ways to enhance economic growth and development, but most especially looking at eradicating poverty on the household level. Of course, my guest, Dr. Alvin, policy analyst, as we proceed here. Yeah, so it's a budget week. I think after tomorrow, the budget is going to be read. Last week, we had the State of the Nation's address. Quite lots of aspects President mentioned, regardless of that. In your own observation, when you take a look at what was distributed to the trade and cooperatives, is it sufficient for the sector to achieve its intended objectives, at least for the next 5 years?
To me, I believe it's. I believe it's better than nothing.
It's better than nothing.
It's better than nothing at all, though it is not sufficient.
Okay.
Because now, if you look at the sectors that were prioritized under the budget framework paper of this coming financial year, you realize that trade and commerce, yes, there are some sectors within which were given good allocation. For example, if you look at the sector like the sector of ICT, at least it was given some good allocation. So you find that there is some contribution there that contribute to facilitating trade and commerce. Yeah. Then you look at investments like establishment of industrial parks and industrial hubs and everything like that. You find that there are some allocations which were given there. And then you look at infrastructure development. It also a very factor that contributes to trade and commerce. So it was also given some kind of contribution, which is also something good. And I was also okay with the allocation that was given to the State House, because I believe in some way or the other, the skilling the youth into, establishing those small businesses, SMEs. The SMEs, I don't know how the Ministry of Finance undertakes studies to really establish the contributions of SMEs to the economy. But SMEs are some of the factors that have contributed so much to the country's growth and development. Because now we've realized that majority of the young population who are energetic are more into those small and medium enterprises. And you've seen the State House Museveni moving around the country, meeting these young boys and girls who are more in SMEs, and he has been giving them some money to move around or to continue with their businesses. We've seen also parish development model is also a model which has come, though, as an analyst, we really need to dig deeper into it and understand it better.
Somebody was saying, one professor was saying that, it's for the shortest time so far. corruption.
Yes.
So what do we project for the next 5 years about this?
In fact, I was going to talk about that.
Yeah.
You've been asking, you've been talking about trade and commerce, but we've seen a lot of corruption in trade and commerce. A lot of corruption in trade and commerce, and to an extent that the study that I made some time back, I realized that the country is losing close to 11 or 10 trillion shillings every financial year just to corruption. In just a financial year, we lose that kind of money just to corruption. Almost 20% of our national budget, we lose it to corruption. So you realize that much as we've seen these huge allocations to facilitate factors that lead to trade and commerce in the country, but these factors are not going to be in tandem, or they are not going to be, they're not going to be in tandem with the budgetary allocations, because we've seen elements of corruption being, manifesting in these kind of allocations. And then two, we've also seen that the agencies which are responsible for fighting corruption sectors like the Office of the Auditor General, sectors like institutions like the Office of the Auditor General, institutions like the IGG's office, the police itself, the courts, they have not been facilitated to curtail, corruption that might come up in sustaining economic growth.
Yes.
We've seen so much elements of mismanaging of public funds and resources when it comes to facilitating trade and commerce. In the allocation of land to investors.
Perfect.
In the promotion of we have the Uganda investment plan, whereby we are now attracting investors from other countries to come and invest in this country. But we've seen elements of corruption manifesting everywhere, to an extent of a president establishing now another specialized mechanism
within the State House.
Within the State House, headed by, now I think is the Lieutenant, Colonel, maybe Brigadier sort of, Edith Nakarima, to see that investors are protected. So that alone shows you that there are some issues to do with fighting corruption manifested under the elements of promoting trade and commerce in disguise of promoting investment in the country. So that alone will show that, okay, much as we've allocated this much money to facilitate trade and commerce, to facilitate investments, but we have this kind of vice within the economy. So let us first of all deal with this vice within the economy. And then we can project as a country to see that now we are moving on the right track. But without that, we will now come back to the drawing board to say, okay, we invested this huge money into facilitating trade and commerce, but we've not realized its kind of
its impact.
Return. Yes.
Okay. Very interesting. Maybe now relating it back to the East African perspective, if we are to look around the countries around us, where best can we benchmark policies that we can look up to and we believe these policies would be effective?
By the way, for the East African community, I believe Uganda is the best.
We have the best. Actually,
Uganda is the best because now, let me tell you, if you look at our investment policy and programs of government, I would say of Uganda, we have the best investment policies and plans as a country, in the whole of East Africa.
Okay.
And we have seen Kenya benchmarking on us, establishing industrial parks.
Okay.
And their industrial parks are working. We have seen Kenya benchmarking on us when it came to the element of privatization in Kenya. We've seen Kenya doing that, whereby banks like the Kenya Cooperative Bank being privatized and given to Equity Bank, Kenya. So we've seen that at least their privatization is working. Standard gauge railway. You look at the private, the public-private partnership kind of agreement.
Yes.
And they have done it so much, and it is working for them.
Okay.
Recently had the Bubu build Buy Uganda
initiative.
That initiative has been benchmarked on by Kenya and Rwanda. you know, and Kenya is also doing the same. You know, there is a Swahili word that they call their initiative, but it's similar to the bubu that we have here. And you find that they are now much more concentrated in now establishing SMEs, making them grow, you know, buying from the Kenyan market, promoting the Kenyan market. Then they have also now started the approach that we are using now to extend our market economy outside Uganda. The country, you know, in the region and actually abroad. You know, if you remember when we had the Dubai Expo.
Very true.
Kenya participated in the Dubai Expo, but they had to benchmark on what Uganda is is already doing there. You know, the only country that failed to benchmark well on us was Rwanda during that time. So they thought that we were going to take technology, you know, the Kira EV, you know, those Kira motors and others. So they took technology there. But for us, yes, we took technology, but we had now to connect it to what the country is going through. Elements of, you know, having coffee exhibited there, having our milk exhibited there, you know, having our tea exhibited there, you know, the mangoes, the bananas, those kind of things. Because now taking technology abroad, the other guys have better technology than us. So, to that I believe now we've realized somehow that we have investment approaches that we have to take, and then we see how now we bring them to the table, and then how we pitch them out to the would-be investors. And after the benefit of our viewers, you saw what happened when we were celebrating Heroes Day. Investors from Dubai were here trying to study the market, you know, trying to understand the investment environment here. So that's something good that I would say, but if we do not align ourselves very well, if we do not eliminate elements of corruption within the sector of investment, within the sector of trade and commerce, I'm telling you, tomorrow we will come back and then discuss the same issues, discuss the same challenges. Yes, because, I mean, Africa-wise, we have the best programs. South Africa has been coming here benchmarking on us on issues to do with, you know, the free market economy, the free market protocol, you know, how do we boost SMEs, you know, how do we now connect the private sector with government, you know, how do we now extend services, you know, how do we correlate together to see that trade and commerce is boosted not only on the side of government, but also on the side of the private sector. South Africa has been here. Last time we had Namibia, delegation from Namibia coming here to, you know, to benchmark on what we are doing as the country, and they see how best they can put them back to their community or back to their countries. Last time we had Botswana here, you know, studying the investment environment, you know, and I remember there is a study that came out, and they're like, in East Africa, in the whole of East Africa, Uganda is one of the best investment environments in East Africa. You know, and that alone calls for benchmarking from other countries to study the environment. So meaning that we've done something, but due to the fact that we have some vices within, which we really need to work upon as a country. They're the ones that are lagging us behind when it comes to us, the people in the country, realizing elements of trade and commerce within our economy. If we do away with that, we'll be good to go.
Be good to go.
Yes.
Interesting. Uganda has the best, of course, policies, but corruption, of course, one of the key hindrances when it comes to implementation and also development at large, because some of these policies, as discussed, implementation is delayed and sometimes not implemented at all. Sometimes implemented but not on a timely basis. All that related to the corruption-related aspects. Well, it's 10 minutes to the top of the hour and we've come to the end of the show. This morning, Smart Men's Business. I've been Andrew Barige, and of course with my guest as we've been winding up in the last 1 hour, that is Dr. Alvin, the policy analyst for NEED. But of course, don't forget to check us out on our channels. That's channel 372 on DSTV and channel 320. That's on GOTV, and on our social media handles at Smart24TV. That's on Twitter, Smart24TV Official. That's on Facebook, and Smart24TV Live on YouTube, where you'll be able to get us at any part of the country that you will be at. And also for further insights, any related insights you want to find out particular topics, but you need that in-depth approach to them, well, you can go to smart24tv.tv on our website, official website, to get us more. Even we are live, of course, with our application you'll be able to get us. That is Smart Digital. You'll be able to get us in there as we give you these latest related business discussions, both local and international. It's the first day of the week. It's a Monday. It's the 12th of June. Be productive. Of course, set your priorities right for the day, but above all, plan for the week. Till tomorrow, a very good morning.